Ellen DeGeneres ran away from the US weeks before the official release of the Epstein files, and Katt Williams is now exposing exactly how she was allegedly connected to Ghislaine Maxwell. Epstein had someone working for him in Hollywood, and reports are now coming out that Ellen was this person.
Her stories have changed so many times about what happens, when it happens, how it happens, with different versions. And each time she speaks, there's a different version.
And that is from the documentary that's just aired in the United States. That's come just off the satellite. For more, we're joined by US broadcaster Cooper Lawrence to dissect it. What did you make of Ghislaine Maxwell?
It reminded me of Nobody Taught Me How to Curtsy and I Didn't Inhale. There was a lot of this evidence that came out during the trial that suddenly she's like, no, it's fake. I mean, during the trial, they showed her that photo and she said, yeah, that's me, that's my apartment, I recognize it. And, it was one of the things that indicted her. Now suddenly it's a fake photograph.
On June 28, 2022, Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to engage in inappropriate conduct involving minors, along with a $750,000 fine. At the time of her arrest, Ghislaine was working as a recruiter for Epstein and helping him source more victims. She was convicted of 5 counts, including following her role in and transporting girls for abuse between 1994 and 2004. Interestingly, this is also when Ellen shut down her show amid allegations of an abusive workplace and completely disappeared from the public spotlight.
Ellen DeGeneres and her wife Portia de Rossi have reportedly fled the US, bound for the UK, after Donald Trump's landslide victory. Numerous publications are reporting the couple have left the United States permanently. There are also reports the couple have put their Montecito mansion on the market. Entertainment publication The Wrap has the exclusive story and said Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have moved to rural England, put their Montecito estate on the market and plan to never return to the United States, telling friends the election of Donald Trump was their primary motivation. Ellen DeGeneres has been a vocal Trump critic, so the move doesn't come as a surprise to most.
They're losing their minds.
She sounded so sincere, didn't she?
Very sincere.
Virtually choke on her words. But the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person. I've had dealings with her in Australia. Could I tell you some stories about that cow? But anyway, good riddance to her. But she was quite friendly with that P. Diddy bloke, wasn't she?
Well, this is why I say release the Diddy files.
Yeah.
Release the Diddy files. Come on, Donald Trump. We want to know whose name.
So maybe she's hightailing out of there before all that is thrown at her as well. But what a bunch of hypocrites.
All of this could still be seen as a coincidence. But then you have Ellen's closest employee, Stephen Twitch Boss's death occurring at the same time, and the he left. 2 months after Ellen fled to the UK and completely changed her appearance, Twitch, the executive producer for her show, committed suicide. In his note, he allegedly revealed that he could no longer be part of the dirty industry and apologized for letting everyone down. Twitch didn't give any details, but he talked about being stressed and ashamed for staying silent.
We're learning more tonight about the tragic side of Stephen Twitch Boss and the detailed steps he took to hide his plans. TMZ is reporting when Twitch left his home the day before he took an Uber to a motel about a mile away. At the motel, he switched his phone to airplane mode so no one could reach him. The motel manager says he checked in under his own name and never left his room. We also now know that Twitch left a suicide note. Details have not been made public, but TMZ reports the note alluded to challenges Twitch had faced in the past. Entertainer Tyler Perry knows firsthand what that is like.
I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times because it was so dark. I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away, is to end my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best part of my life.
For the type of ratings we need and attention to be on this thing. See, what I'm saying is, in business, nothing is coincidental, or you will be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
Wow.
I'm saying there's the good side and the bad side of these businesses.
But think about what you just think about what you just said. That's extremely thoughtful and powerful. It could only be what it was if it were those two. Those two, yes. Will Smith and Chris Rock. It could only be what it has been with those two black men.
If you put any other names together, the police are out on stage, they've cut to commercial, you didn't see what happened. By the time they come out, people have been removed, it goes on. It's certain ways things are handled when it's not intentional. When things go smoothly, but they seem chaotic, that means there was forethought and a plan. Somebody, even if it looks like, Janet Jackson just had a wardrobe malfunction. Yeah, there's no such thing.
Correct.
I don't care who you blame it.
I believe that.
Somebody benefited. Yeah. So in all of these situations, there's a business involved and there's real money involved, and somebody's benefiting from this thing that looks like, oh, that just happened. Nah, no way. No way.
As more and more Epstein files are released, fans are looking back on Ellen's show and noticing horrifying similarities between what Ellen was joking about and what Epstein was doing on his island. For example, court documents show that Epstein was involved in harvesting stem cells from aborted fetuses and children. Reports point to genetics, reproduction, and long-term legacy ideas, with billionaire Peter Nygård also tied into the conversation. Now, look at what Ellen was promoting on her show.
Okay, let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. How many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do
Not
this?
everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra?
Sarah?
Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
Other celebrities were doing the same thing. According to some critics, Hollywood was involved in a coordinated effort to normalize this behavior. On March 20th, 2016, Steve Harvey interviewed Michelle Park, an Emmy-winning NBC host, who gave him a preview of Oprah Winfrey's favorite anti-aging cream by Skin Medica, which is made from the foreskin of underage individuals. The company claims Skin Medica uses foreskin fibroblasts that are used to grow and cultivate new cells. Conspiracy theorists claim celebrities use such products for eternal youth, linking the skincare industry's harvesting of neonatal foreskin cells to alleged elite exploitation.
I'm going to put a little on your hand.
I'll do that. Oprah did.
Yeah, Oprah did it. All right, so here, we're going to rub it right in.
How come it's red?
I'll show you in a sec, Steve. So this is made from growth hormones of human...
Look, the wrinkles has just disappeared. I can't even ball my hand up.
So it's made from human foreskin.
You done sat up here and squirted somebody's private parts in my damn hair. What you laughing at?
I'm sorry.
This your last time on the show. This your last time. Not coming up in here.
Chris Hansen also investigated these claims when he was looking into Epstein and arrived at the same conclusion as everyone else. There was a lot more than just sexual crimes happening on Epstein's island. Dozens of emails released by the DOJ show that Epstein was interested in using genetic engineering to harvest cells from children and clone them. These cells would then be sent as a form of medication to his friends with the promise that they would help them stay young.
Billionaire freakazoid.
Yes.
And part of his deal, he's in prison in jail up in Canada, waiting, charges all over the globe. But his deal was that he would allegedly impregnate young women in the Bahamas, where he had a huge home, and then have them get abortions and harvest their stem cells of the fetuses to inject in himself as the fountain of youth. And we get into this in that documentary. And was Epstein involved in that sort of activity? I don't know.
That's where, and again, we just have to look at what we have and know what we don't yet.
Yeah.
But it's a question.
Yeah,
when you look at the context of the jerky stuff.
Yeah, and when you look at what other billionaire guys have done, were they in contact somehow? I mean, obviously, there are some people who are in the concentric circles of associates.
Katt Williams talked about this on the Joe Rogan podcast and said that the same producers and elites who control the industry are using their roles to source young men and women for trap into other elites. He even named Diddy and Epstein as the two heads.
This is why those one world people exist, because it's a very powerful concept to have and far too lucrative and beneficial to not. Everybody is a supplier. Epstein, Weinstein, like these guys knew what these extremists liked and provided it, and provided the way for you to to have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history.
Right. Supporters of these theories also point towards hidden symbolism in Ellen's show, which some people see as an attempt to normalize what was happening on Epstein's island. At one point, Beaver Leap even tried to get Katt Williams to join them. In a recent interview with Theo Von, Katt said that he was shocked to see just how powerful Harvey Weinstein actually was. Allegedly, Weinstein offered Katt the opportunity to be with any actress he wanted. These actresses were available to Harvey Weinstein on speed dial, and the only thing Katt had to do in return was stay silent and help them recruit more young men and women. Fans, aspiring models and actors, and especially child actors, are all preyed upon. Was the first one to expose how all of this was happening. Epstein was working as a scout himself, but you don't end up hundreds of victims to the world's elite by working alone. Epstein had several people working for him as recruiters, going around and trying to manipulate individuals. Ghislaine was just one of these recruiters. There are probably dozens of other recruiters who were never arrested. The only reason that Ghislaine ended up being caught was because of the sheer scale of abuse. Ghislaine recruited hundreds of individuals for Epstein. She would look out for vulnerable teenagers who needed help or money and position Epstein as a savior who wanted to help them. Multiple victims have confirmed that the worst part about Ghislaine was how she would target you when you were at your lowest and use your pain to force you to do things you didn't want.
She had no remorse in her voice. Ghislaine has no soul. And you know yourself what I've been through trying to take her down. And the reason why I've had to go through that is because she's a dangerous human being. She will reoffend, and reoffend. These people never stop, ever.
So you were abused by both of them in your very first encounter?
Yeah, both of them. I was abused by Ghislaine and Epstein, and it broke my heart. I don't mean to sound sexist in any way, shape, or form. I don't hate men. I'm not a man hater, but I expected it from a man, but I didn't expect it from a woman. And so I think that's what still hurts me the most to this day is that, as a mom, as a wife, as a sister, as a daughter, I couldn't imagine putting someone through what she put me through. And I think that's what hurts the most.
Recently, one of Ghislaine Maxwell's old interviews went viral. In this interview, Ghislaine confirmed exactly what everyone has been saying all along. Epstein was silenced, so the elites connected to him won't get exposed. So far, more than 400 powerful individuals from all over the world have been exposed for their connection to Epstein's trafficking ring. Imagine how many more would have been exposed if Epstein hadn't been and allowed to speak out. 3 million redacted files held this information, and that's not even half of what was recovered.
Fox News alert: the Department of Justice just dropped last month's jailhouse interview with Epstein Madam Ghislaine Maxwell. And it's a doozy. First, she doesn't think Epstein killed himself.
So you think he did not die by suicide, given all the things we just talked about?
I do not believe he died by suicide. No.
And do you believe that, do you have any speculation or view of who killed him?
No, I don't.
And what about Epstein's infamous client list? Did he even have a list?
You never observed, or you never saw any sort of list or black book or a list of individuals who, linked to certain masseuses or
Absolutely
anything
no.
like that?
Absolutely no. There is no list. There is no, I'm not aware of any blackmail. I never heard that. I never saw it, and I never imagined it.
The list doesn't exist? So flight manifests don't exist? The surveillance tapes don't exist? The bank records don't exist? Well, what about Trump? The media spent the last couple months trying to smear him as Epstein's predator pal.
I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
And did you ever hear Mr. Epstein or anybody say that President Trump had done anything inappropriate with masseuses or with anybody in your world?
Absolutely never. In any context.
A good portion of the interview focused on Bill Clinton. Author Daniel Halper told Primetime Clinton was romantically involved with Maxwell. Would Ghislaine sell out her old flame? And she was asked about Bill and said he never did anything inappropriate and that Bill never went to Epstein's island.
There's also the fact that whistleblowers like Katt Williams are being silenced. Katt said that the elites are starting to catch up to him, and it's only a matter of time before they get him too.
I infiltrate the Illuminati, find out what the fuck they got going on, get the information, run back to y'all, tell y'all everything I know. That's my motherfucking job. But I don't know how many more times I'm gonna be able to sneak in there. Thanks to Shannon Sharp and 90 million views, I can't sneak very often. So while I was in there this last time, knowing that my last report might be my last report, I went in there and I got information for everybody. Look at my white friends. Us too? That's right, white secrets.
To give you an idea of just how much information is being kept from us, there are emails released by the DOJ where Epstein is clearly talking about trafficking victims to other elite. However, none of the files name these individuals. In fact, hundreds of thousands of files are completely redacted, so the people responsible won't be outed.
Which one do you prefer, lewd and lascivious conduct or procuring minors for prostitution? I suppose lewd and lascivious conduct. I would prefer lewd and lascivious conduct with a prostitute if possible. That exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell on May 23, 2008 is part of some 18,000 emails from Epstein's personal Yahoo account obtained by Bloomberg News.
The emails, which suggest the inbox was most active between 2005 and 2008, include messages spanning 2002 to 2022. Epstein died in 2019, and emails received after that are largely spam or marketing offers. Overall, the emails offer a raw look into the disgraced financier and sex offender's world. While this inbox wasn't the only one he used, the newly uncovered emails do suggest how central Maxwell was to his life, something that contradicts her telling of events. She's characterized herself as a former girlfriend and property manager for Epstein, not someone with eyes into his vast influence machine or sex trafficking operation. She's currently serving a 20-year sentence for conspiring with Epstein to sexually abuse minors. Maxwell was central to curating Epstein's inner circle, according to these emails. In some emails, she's organizing visits with the likes of Sergey Brin and his then-girlfriend Anne Wojcicki.
Despite her crimes, Ghislaine Maxwell was transferred to a minimum security prison and given tons of luxuries, including her own puppy. One of the inmates at her prison said that her experience there is very different from anyone else's. She is treated very differently there. She made it known there's no remorse there. When the victims would be on TV and talking, she had complete disregard for them when they were pouring their hearts out in front of Congress. And for the files to be released,
I know for a fact she's getting special treatment.
Les Trent spoke to Sam Mangle, a prison consultant who has 3 clients at the same facility as Maxwell, the Bryan Federal Prison Camp in Texas.
Whether it's access to a laptop computer, which is unheard of, to visits where they lock down the camp and no one can leave their bunks while she's having visitors.
Allegations of other perks, according to the New York Times, include meals being delivered to her cell and being served bottled water while other inmates drink tap water, playing with service dogs, showering alone, and watching TV alone in staff-only areas. They even provided her with an umbrella to shade her from the hot Texas sun while she took her daily walks.
She's been given the freedom and liberties that the other inmates do not have.
Last July, Maxwell was moved from a medium security prison in Florida to the minimum security camp in Texas. This followed her meeting with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. According to reports, fellow inmates at the facility were threatened with solitary confinement or transferred to a tougher penitentiary if they voiced complaints about Maxwell's perks.
They've been told from the day she got there, do not discuss her, do not put anything in writing, do not talk about her on the phone, do not make any trouble regarding Miss Maxwell, or we will move you to another location.
As more files get released and more people start speaking out, the story is far from over. So if you want to stay updated on everything that's coming out next, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's revealed next. Let me know what you think in the comments.